Welcome back to the Hollywood Hang, a podcast about the highs, lows, and hell no's of this crazy industry. I am Nick, one of your hosts.
I am Tepper, your other host.
This is year two.
Year two, and we are, as you can tell,
In a
upping the
new-
ante.
Yeah. We've got a little reboot situation going on.
As the industry, I feel like also reboots.
Yes.
I feel like we're rebooting the podcast in a really exciting way while we feel like the industry is also changing, which is kind of what this episode will lean into. But we wanted to do like a little catch up, even though we've been with each other. I think the last 2 weeks. One weekend was your wedding.
Yeah.
And then last weekend was South by. Yes.
Yeah.
But we figured we would like talk about what everyone's been up to.
Yeah.
And I feel like,
because it's been a while since we've done an episode.
yeah. a lot. Like
Yeah.
fall. Because like, did we finish before you pitched it fantastic, or had you pitched it fantastic?
I think one of our last episodes, I think I'm talking about how we won the competition, but
Okay.
nothing after that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's this. I feel I should know that, but I obviously don't. We discussed my memory this
Yeah.
weekend a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go? Yours is much more exciting than what I've been up to. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first because it's faster?
Yeah. No. So I guess biggest update is made the movie Playhouse. We finished shooting like I think it was like February 16th or something.
How long was the shoot?
The shoot was 15 days. It was technically 16 days. We did like kind of like a day zero where we shot all the found footage stuff.
Yeah.
In our DP's garage. And so that was like 10 pages. But like the proper shoot where we were like, doing the rest of the movie, like the cinematic stuff that wasn't on like a camcorder, it was 15 days.
So then I think it's just helpful for people to know.
Yeah.
What day did you win? When did like your pre-production start to that time? Because I think that's also something, like, I don't think you guys had a long pre-production relative.
Yeah, no, so I think that was like September. It was the end of September. I want to say like the 27th. I can't even remember.
Wait, birthday?
What?
Wait, when's your birthday?
Oh, October 14th.
Oh, but you're a Libra because I'm a Libra.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Wait, the 27th is not your birthday.
No, mine's the 30th.
Oh, okay.
But it's September, yeah.
Right. Yeah, so like before that, I guess technically we were like in soft pre-production because we had the three of us as producers like talking about making the movie, but it was extremely fast. So we got like greenlit end of September. The first thing we said was, okay, for the timeline, which is we have to deliver the movie this September. We were like, okay, the perfect time to be shooting is like end of February, early March, which is the same time as the wedding. So my initial instinct was, okay, let's just shoot it right after, because that gives us a little more time.
Yeah.
But then Kirby was like, do you really want to be at the wedding, like thinking all you're going to be able to think about is the shoot? And I was like, oh, that's a really good point. If we shoot it before, we have less time to prepare, but it'll be like we get to celebrate at our own wedding, which thank God.
I think was Kirby never has a wrong choice. So yes, she was right.
And so, yeah, we got married literally a week after we wrapped, which was like crazy.
Phenomenal wedding.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You were there. Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah. You had a little incident. You were on the dance floor with it.
I can't wait to see those photos. Okay. So though you go, you do your pre-production.
Yeah.
Question though for like people, you say you had a producer. Where did the producer come in at that stage for you?
So 3 of us, you could have up to 3 people pitching for this Fantastic Pitches competition. So we had our main producer, Ben Goger, who's made like a million micro budget films. He's also made some bigger indies. He made the Caleb Heron movie,
Trash Mountain.
Yes. He always wears his Trash Mountain hat.
Oh, that's merch I would pay for.
Yeah, it's like a camo hat and it says Trash Mountain.
Stop. Yeah, okay, that's really good.
So he's
How did you meet him?
So
I feel like I'm doing this because I feel like there's sometimes like the questions of like, I want a producer. Where do I find one?
Yeah, it was so there's a filmmaker named Brandon Daly who made a movie called Positions that's sort of like, it played South by last year, kind of like Uncut Gems, but about crypto. And I loved it, but like that filmmaker, I've been watching his stuff online for 10 plus years,
Oh,
and like
whoa.
we've always just like kept, the connection going. And so I think either me or him were like, hey, Ben is a great producer if you're looking for someone for this competition. And like, yeah, the moment we met Ben, he has this like really chill, he's not like your typical producer who's like a mile a minute and like just, willing to be crazy and do anything.
Yeah.
Like he's super chill. We call him Zen Ben.
Love that for him.
Yeah, yeah. So he's just, but he's great, and he's made like so many of these movies at the budget, which was $100,000 that we were given for this competition, which is
Right, which is like
yeah,
exactly what you need.
yeah. Um, and so yeah, he was great. So on stage, it was the three of us pitching, and also built into the terms of the competition where like we would all be producers, which I think is pretty normal on a micro budget movie because
Because you're gonna do
yeah, there's
everything
nobody,
anyways.
there's
Yeah.
nobody
But
there.
you couldn't be just the director, like, you have to carry all of the
Yeah,
other weight too.
yeah, yeah. Um, and so, yeah, and then, but along the way, we brought in two other producers, Jack and Derek, who are also amazing. They came in like a little bit later into the process, but I'm really glad that they like forced us all to be producers because, like, I mean, I would have been in those meetings and stuff anyway, but I think that was like the biggest learning experience for me is like figuring out how to do all that stuff. And I think producer, like in
I'm
film school, you
gonna
have to switch positions and
I'm
all
gonna
that.
make you go crazy.
Yeah.
You're like, learn all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Tell me a few things.
Oh my God. Like, I mean, people always say, like, oh, I would have done this differently. I would have learned so many things. Like, I think the biggest, like, the biggest thing I would have done is, I mean, I would have tried to, I mean, you're supposed to do this when you make a micro budget movie. Like, this is what the Duplass brothers always say, but like, find a free location that you own
Oh.
because locations are extremely
Oh,
expensive.
yes, you had a location
Yeah, we
kerfuffle.
lost our main location a week before we started shooting. And so we had to find a new house, but the house we ended up finding was better. It was like exactly what we wanted in the beginning, which was like a decrepit, falling apart house that we could like mess up. And so it was kind of amazing that we ended up losing the other one. Which by
Did
the
you tell
way,
Kurt?
I told Kirby, yeah,
Okay.
so the first time I saw Obsession, I hadn't scouted this house. And the second time I saw it, I was like, oh my God, that is the house we were supposed to shoot
That
in.
is wild.
Yeah, it's in Pomona. It's RSI locations, but it's very expensive. And basically, we were gonna have this like very good deal to shoot there, but the catch was like if a studio comes in,
And pays.
originally they were like, you guys, you might have to like share the street or something, but like a studio came in and bought the whole street. So yeah, they're not gonna go with us. So we can't pay. So yeah, but it was, yeah, I mean, I just learned so much. And yeah, that weekend leading up to the shoot, like we had to, replace a key crew member. We had to find a new location. Because of all the shifting that happened, like we basically had to move one of our biggest scares to day one.
Oh.
And then so I was like, okay, our biggest scares on day one, let me see I'm trying not to spoil it, the giant thing we built for this. And then it was like, oh shit, like that's not really the way we envisioned it. And so we did something completely different that I think ended up
Being
amazing. But
okay.
we had like 5 days
And do you
to figure
think
out what to do.
okay, this is like always a question I have because
Yeah.
everyone's like, how do you spend $100,000 is not a lot in movie money, but it's like a lot of money just to like
Mhm.
think about. Where was the thing that you like spent the most that you were like, oh shit, this was like added up so quickly?
Locations. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so,
I think,
so
yeah.
Mark and Jay were correct.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's, I mean, there was also like what happened to us is I think on a typical micro budget movie, you're making it at your house with your friends
Right.
and you're not using union actors. And
Who's the guy that did Waves? He like,
Trey Edward Schultz,
and his first film is all his
Krisha.
family.
Krisha.
Yes.
Yes. I love Krisha.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's his family as the actors as well and their house, which
Yeah.
is just like so impressive.
Very smart.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, like I also naively thought like, but where is that money gonna be spent? And then you look at the numbers. It's like, yeah, location. I mean, food adds up, like paying your crew adds up. And, there were also like we got incredible crew. Our makeup
Yeah.
artist, like she won an Emmy for Euphoria,
Your
but
costumes.
yeah. And our costume designer, like she did I Love Boosters
Yeah.
and like
Which
I
phenomenal.
can't believe I missed it. We'll talk about South by. But yeah, no, it just like it all adds up, and you also have to find the balance of like my DP had never shot a movie before. Which originally everybody was like, you have to get a DP who's like shot a bunch of movies, but like at this budget, it's hard to find people where you can make it work. So you
Yeah.
have to find the balance of like, this person has experience in their field, but like they see the value in this being their first thing. So like our production designer, he did art. He was like the art director on The Brutalist, but like he
Oh,
wanted
whoa.
his like
I didn't
production
realize
design
that.
credit. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was great, Alex. So you have to find people who it's like it's worth it for them to do it, and people who love it. And then there were some people like the actors. We have this SAG ultra low budget, agreement. But it's the same thing for them. Like our lead actor, like he loved the script, and he really, really wanted to do it. So yeah, it was the craziest experience ever. And just doing that back to back with, okay, now the wedding, like it was really,
I can't even imagine because, like, I know my friends planning their weddings and it
yeah.
isn't all encompassing. I will say Kirby is just like ridiculously chill. Not that you're not also planning the wedding, but like I do feel like it's like
No, it was all Kirby.
I like
Yeah.
thrown on like the woman normally is just like, but also like the place that you had your wedding was so cool. Like it like was primed to just be cool. Like you guys.
Yeah.
Yes. And
It
all
was awesome.
the tattoos. I
Yeah.
loved the tattoos.
Yeah. We had these temporary tattoos that were made by Black Scraps, who's like one of my favorite tattoo artists, and like he's done a bunch of my tattoos. So he did like custom
They stuck on
tattoos.
for
Yeah,
a
no,
long time.
I had the cat one that was like on my chest forever.
Eric could not get
Yeah.
your matching chest one off.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna get one of those, like actually tattooed by him, just because I'm like, I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would Kirby do it too?
Yeah.
Do you guys have any matching tattoos?
Yeah, we have a matching tattoo that says science that we got like right at the end of the end of like the main stretch of the pandemic.
Oh my
For obvious
God.
reasons, yeah.
I thought you were gonna say like right when you guys first started dating, but I feel like
it wasn't
that is, like,
that. It was probably a year into us dating or
committed to the
something.
bit
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Oh my
It's the only
God.
matching tattoo I've ever gotten.
Wait, and then you guys didn't do a honeymoon.
So we didn't do a honeymoon after, but we kind of did like a pre-staycation honeymoon.
Yeah.
So like before production, we stayed for a couple nights at Sunset Tower Hotel, which was
Cute.
just kind of like a fun,
vibes.
staycation at restaurant, and like it was great. But we want to do like a proper honeymoon. But we need to figure out like, are we making a movie next year? Are we safe to
Yeah.
book? Like I want to figure out how we do all that. We also may have like more festivals to do after Fantastic Fest.
right.
There's potential.
Okay,
that we
yeah.
may-
So what's like the logistics of obviously what's next?
yeah. So we're in post right now. I watched the first full cut of the movie at South by Southwest at 2 a.m. in my hotel room. And
Normal.
I hadn't slept the day before because I was traveling. And I was like, I'm just going to watch like the first 20 minutes. Like I've been dying to see the whole thing. I had seen scenes and sequences, but I wanted to watch the whole thing
Yeah.
put together. And not to be like, oh, my movie's so good, but I just like couldn't stop watching.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I think I finished at like 5 a.m.
You were up pretty early the next day because you texted me.
Yeah, I think because and then I only got a few hours of sleep, and then I had to go to some other screening or
Yes.
something.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so you saw first cut.
Saw
So
the first
now
cut.
you have
Mhm.
when do you actually have to deliver it though?
So like August-ish, because we
Okay.
need to have time to like, do the DCP and make
Yeah.
sure it's all good to go.
Okay, wait, actually, that is like one of those things which I kept hearing people talk about. It's like, oh, you had to get the DCP in then.
Yeah.
What is the DCP?
Mm-hmm. The DCP is basically digital cinema package. It is like it's like the final file, basically. Like it's a huge file that is what
And
theater.
they need it because they're testing
Yeah.
on like testing to make sure that it works when
Yeah.
they play it for like a big
Exactly.
audience or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So if your film is shot on film, delivered on film, like you have, your projectionist is like using the film, but usually movies are showing digitally. I mean, if you're at like an AMC or
Yeah.
something, so it's going to be a DCP, which is basically just like a huge file. I mean, I've done it once before for my thesis film, but that's also like is a short film. So this
Yeah.
is a much, different thing. But yeah, so we have to finish it by August, which seems like we have plenty of time, but we actually don't because we have to do color, we have to do sound, we have to do all this other stuff. So
Did you say how long your first?
the first cut was about I think like 2 hours and 5 minutes, but it was missing one sequence because there's a really complicated sequence that they're finishing right now. So I'd call it like 210, 215.
Okay. And you want it to be?
I would love it for it to be like 90 minutes because it's a horror film.
Yeah.
If it ends up being, I think the two movies we saw back to back at South by were actually both an hour and 48 minutes, which is roughly, call it like an hour 43 minus credits.
Yeah.
Which I think is still okay. I think an hour 40.
Oh, neither of them felt at all like that. So I feel like it's just the context of the film.
Traditionally, though, I mean, because I watch a lot of micro budget horror films, and like because of the shortened scripts, because of the budget, because of the limitations, a lot of those movies end up being like 85, 80 minutes, which I would have been fine with. I think there's a little too much story and stuff that I don't want to cut in this one for it to be that short. But if it ends up being 90 minutes or an hour 40, that's fine with me. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we're editing, doing a ton of notes, and then then it'll just be like picture locking the movie, which means like, okay, we're not going to make any more changes to the visual element, and then we do sound, we do color. Yeah.
I want to talk about, or should we wait until like the next half of being like, there's a lot of like hype. No, I don't want to call it hype, but it like kind of is hype. It's just like a lot of people in the industry very interested in what you're doing, and also on the creator side, like very excited for you and what you're doing. And at South by, I was getting anxiety for you.
Yeah.
We walked out of a movie and it was like people from the team of the movie were like thanking you for making your videos. And they were like, I also know you're working on your own like first feature. So it's also like nice to see how those are like blending where like you're promoting someone else's film, but then those people on those teams are watching you and being like, oh, like this kid's also going out and making his own film. But then it was like all of the other influencers are really excited about it.
Yeah.
And then also there's like Roy Lee and the producers and like all these bigwigs who are kind of like, what's going on with that? And like, what are you feeling about the like, it's not a cloud around you because a cloud's bad, but like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I think like what the agents would call it. Remember when we had Meredith on our podcast and she was like, oh yeah, all agents do is make calls and say like, who's having a moment right now?
Yeah.
I would call it like a moment because, and it's like it's what you said. It's the combination of like, I think both of us have found our place in the digital space. And so we have a lot of people who just like our stuff, which is like, we try to just encourage people and help people. And then it's that combined with the fact that, making a movie, even just having it in the can, I have already noticed like the biggest difference in my career. Not just it's
interesting.
Yeah, it's everything. It's like, because if you write a script, that's great because you could sell it, but it's still not like a concrete thing. Like you could print it out.
You also had
it's
such
pages.
a truncated time that this occurred in. Like it was so fast. Like normally, like you could sell a script and then you're like, I'm in development hell for the next year, and then they're going to produce it, and we got to wait for a big actor. Like yours happened in like the tightest time frame. Yeah.
So in 6 months, like my life is very different. But I think we kind of have like the opposite problem that a lot of independent films have, which is like people usually make movies and then it's like, okay, how do I get these people to see the movie? How do I do that? But for us, it's like, hey, so and so wants to see the movie. Hey, I need to see this when it's ready. And it's like, I'm not even, I need to get the edit to a place where I feel really good.
Yeah.
But then it's the applied pressure of like, oh, X person is like antsy to see this and they will be watching it. Like,
You have
so
it's more risk because it's not just making an indie film that like maybe people aren't going to see. Like people are going to see this. Like,
yeah.
and I think that's like kind of what I was saying about like the mini Markiplier effect. Like you are going to be the test subject of
Mm-hmm.
this because you have an audience, but
Mm-hmm.
also you have this influencer like friend network who are also in the horror genre community that are really hyped for this and talking about it already. So like the audience is built out for you. And then you also have the other side, which is the business side. Like I feel like it's normally really hard for people to have both of them colliding at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, a good example of how it's colliding is like the new managers that Kirby and I just signed with because we signed as like a team, writing and producing team.
Which
Um,
is so crazy. Like I for you and Kirby, it makes perfect sense. Like you guys are on the same wave. Like,
yeah,
but like you guys are married.
yeah,
So you're a couple,
hmm
in case no one knows what married means.
yeah,
But you're also like really good at like creating and writing together.
hmm
Like I just think that's just like why. And now you are repped together.
yeah. No, we've been writing together for a while, but same thing of what I was saying before. Of like, I just feel like I have a little bit more power in my career right now because once you have a tangible thing, yeah, I just feel like I have more leverage to do what I want to do, and also it's the funny thing of like I give screenwriting advice, which traditionally is coming from someone who wants to sell a spec script.
Yeah.
But now I'm finding myself like breaking all my rules because I'm like, oh, I'm directing this. So like, close up shot, like steady hand,
I mean,
I'm,
for my like little script club, we read Sinners the other day just to like get
mhm.
prepped for him
Is
winning.
there a lot of directorial stuff in it?
Yeah, and like, but some of it's like poetry, but
Hmm.
other ones are just like so direct, and you're like,
Hmm.
oh, he just like knew what he saw there. And other ones, it's like him kind of like vibing with himself in the
Yeah.
script. And I'm like, this is wild to like see these two things exist in the same script. And you're like, it's because it's his. Like he
Yeah.
knows what everything that he sees is gonna look like.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, we can do like a future episode where, I mean, because there's just such a difference between, yeah, like your script versus someone else needs to come in and be able to do their thing.
Yeah. And
But
like trying to sell a visual
right.
to somebody else, like to the reader at that point is very different than being like, I know what I'm
Yeah.
gonna make this visually.
Yeah. And there was a ton of visual stuff in the Playhouse script. And every actor and person who read it was like, oh, I could see it so clearly because all that stuff was written in
Yeah.
there. And we ended up shooting it like that. Some of it stayed and some of it is like, things change on set.
Yeah.
This doesn't work, but there are so many sequences that's like, oh, this is exactly what we
Oh,
wanted. And then it
interesting.
was
Yeah.
like exactly that. Um, but yeah, so basically I just decided, I mean, Kirby and I've been writing for a long time together, but it was kind of like I had my separate thing going on and then we would write together for fun. But with Playhouse being, in my opinion, like one of the best things I've ever had my name on, it was just like, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
no-brainer. And also I think it's very common for you to go from movie number one into movie number two with the same team. So it's like, okay, we're producing it again. I'm going to direct it. We're writing it again. Like we want to do the same thing. And I'm also just way busier now. So it's like having the writing partner and, I mean, it's just the person I'm with all the time.
Right.
So, I mean, it's bad because like we're never not working. But it's also like, okay, it's so easy for us to like, by the time we sit down, we already know what we're
Yeah.
doing.
Someone asked that this weekend, actually, because like Eric and me, and they're like, is it
Yeah.
hard to date someone in the industry? And I'm like, I enjoy it because I think me and him both like talking about it all the time.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if I was someone who like knew how to separate work from like my,
Yeah.
but also we work in an entertainment format. So it's like interesting to talk about it and like think about story. I also think writing with a partner is I'm doing a feature right now with my friend
Mm.
Tiger.
Mhm.
And it is just fun and it's so much faster.
Yeah.
Like we are just like speeding through this thing and then we're realizing things so much quicker than when
Yep.
you have to wait for writers group to get your notes back. And like
Yeah.
there's so many benefits to it if you find the right like flow and people work at the same pace, which I think is like a hard thing to find with people.
Yeah. But I think it is hard. I mean, I've tried and have co-written many things in the past,
same.
and I just never really found somebody that I could fully get on the same page with. I mean, I'm also like, I mean, you're a Libra too. I don't like arguing with people. So if I'm writing with someone that I'm even friends with, but like not super close with, I'm just like, oh yeah, okay. Like I'm not gonna like go to war with you over it, you know?
I'm still bad about what is Kirby?
So I mean, because we are married, like we I think can get into more intense not fights, but like we can really
Like you're
passionately
not like
talk
worried about
out.
hurting, like not hurting her feelings, but like being very honest about the things that you're thinking.
No, and I mean, I think Kirby is you know how we talk about like you have your hype readers and then you have like your blunt readers? She has always been a very blunt reader, which is good. Like you don't not everyone
Yes.
should just say it's amazing, it's perfect
Right.
because the first draft
'Cause
is
you're like
usually
bad.
terrible. Yeah, but she has always been very upfront about it, and so now it's like, oh yeah, I'm used to that. Like
Right. It
you're not
doesn't
going to
like
hurt my
when I tell
feelings.
Eric things and he's like, huh, I like know that, huh? Versus like, oh.
Yeah.
And like I see his wheels turning. I'm like, okay, I understand the difference between huh and like, huh.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and that's the best I'm getting right now.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Um But yeah, oh, the last thing I was going to say. So you were asking kind of about the intersection of all these
Oh,
things coming
yes.
together. But two things. So that is like the perception right now of like, oh, like we're having like a moment with this movie. Um, but I mean, this has come. I've been trying to work as a screenwriter or working as a screenwriter since 2020 is when I was first at Sony
Yeah.
Animation, and so it's been 6 years, and I would say like the first 2 to 3 years of that were going extremely well because I still had that like, oh, you're the new
Yeah.
young screenwriter and like you're still like hot to the industry. But like for the last couple of years, it is not. I've had a lot of crises that are like, I'm not getting the stuff I want. I don't like pitching all this OWA stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not writing the things I want to write. What's happening with the industry, and so this is all like I would say this is the most heat I've ever had and like the most like excited people are about my career, but it all stemmed from the fact of like just making a movie for very
Well,
little
also
money.
in the genre that you want. Because
Yeah,
like when I met you, I think you had been like, oh, like I just worked on Go, like I'm
I
in
know.
animation, I'm pitching
Yeah.
on a lot of IP. You're like, but I love horror.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. Cause like just track record wise, that's like not what your track record said.
Yeah.
And then obviously I read you and I was like, oh yeah, he like, and also like your whole TikTok is I love horror.
Yeah.
Like it was so like, not that you don't watch other things, but I was just like, oh, it's so singular and like the thing that you're most passionate about. And I
Yeah.
think that's also like what this allowed you to do. Like I
Hmm.
feel like everything converged in being like, do you feel like TikTok gave you confidence or like making videos gave you confidence? Then it was like, now I have this like platform where I'm confident and I can also go and pitch on this like genre
Hmm.
thing and like not feel like I'm so like grasping for straws thirsty.
Yeah. Well, what TikTok did, and this kind of goes into the thing about like how I'm more so trying to just be in control now and do the things I want to do and not because it's hard when you're first starting out. It's like, yeah, I broke in with a comedy coming of age script. So if people offer me money to do something and it's that,
Yeah.
like I'm going to do that. The whole Meredith again, go where you're wanted, and
Yeah.
that's where I was getting paid. And but then when you're not getting paid, when you're working on stuff that you're like meh, and you're not getting paid, and it's not selling, it starts to feel really bad because it's like, why not just do what I want to do?
Right.
TikTok, what TikTok has done is the moment that I was able to pay my rent via TikTok, it was like, oh, I'm not scared of being able to pay my rent anymore. So I'm
Right.
not desperate for jobs that I don't want anymore. So that's really what it did. And ironically, when I first started doing this, I think the same with you, people were like, why not just take all that energy and just put it into your writing? Why are you
Mm-hmm.
wasting time doing this? But then once it becomes a side career, that makes my mental health better.
Yeah.
And that
Oh,
allows me to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm only going to write genre scripts now for the most part because that's
yeah.
what I'm the most
I've
passionate
never
about.
understood people who were like the starving artist thing. I'm like, if I'm worried about rent, I can't write anything because in back of
Mhm.
my head, I'm like, I should be redoing my resume. I should be applying
Yep.
to jobs. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I should be doing that. And like, I think not having to worry about the rent allows you to also just be like, I have time. Like, I
Yeah.
have time to actually do what I want and think about the better pathway than just like grabbing at anything that people will give you.
Yeah. No, exactly. So that's what that was the strength of doing the TikTok stuff. And then the last thing I was going to say is I feel like the perfect example of the intersection of the things we're talking about, how everything is like finally kind of crisscross for me, is the managers that we end up signing with. They kind of like specialize in creator turned filmmakers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
So our buddy Spencer Lackey, take a shot.
Yeah.
Uh,
Every
like,
time we say Spencer's name,
yeah,
I'll do a little of this shot for him.
yeah, he comes from the digital space, but he makes these shorts
Mm-hmm.
on TikTok and Instagram, and now he wants to be, or he's going to be, a filmmaker. And so and they have, like the Backrooms kid, and they have all these people who are either coming from like the YouTube space, or TikTok, Instagram, and doing that. So that was also why I was attracted to that team,
Right.
because I was like, oh, these are, and this is film and TV managers. Like
Right.
I have my digital person, and then you have your film and TV people. But
And
like,
it's hard to, there's still, I think I have talked with this about like a few of my friends that work like in what I call traditional legacy.
mhm,
There's still like they are ahead of the game because there's still this really big disconnect where I think like old school agents, managers aren't digging into like the way that Roy Lee does. Like they aren't
yeah,
digging in to find these people. They're kind of waiting until they have the big blow up moment. But I think the Backrooms,
mhm.
who's the director on that?
Kane Parsons, yeah,
He does not have a huge following. I like
mhm.
went and was looking him up the other day and I was like, oh, this is interesting that like he's kind of,
It's not about followers for him. It's more so this backroom series that he created that has kind of become,
yes.
he didn't create the Backrooms. The Backrooms, I like just looked into this. It was a photo on 4chan, and then it kind of
Okay,
became
that's what I
this.
started reading. And I was
Yeah,
like, oh, this is like such an interesting little lore to that. But I
yeah,
do think like there are some people like your team that are quickly like searching through and being like, you
mhm,
don't need the million followers. You need like a vision and an
yeah,
idea. And that's what they're looking for right
which is
now.
great. And I think
Yeah.
that should be encouraging to people, because even, yeah, me, like I have, I've like my decent following, but
Yeah.
it's not like, if I was only doing digital, you get like a million followers, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, now you're like
I was gonna say,
popping
I
in the
feel like
space.
a few years ago, like you needed 2 million followers to like really
Yeah.
have popped off and to be
Hmm.
relevant or like trusted. And I feel
Hmm.
like now it's not that. It's more
Yeah.
of like your audience and
Yeah.
like what you're building actually.
Totally. Yeah. So that's, but yeah, it's been like crazy. And also, I feel like I don't know where I'm going to find my dopamine now that I don't have like these like two giant things
To like,
to
yeah,
look
be like
forward
working
to.
for.
And yeah,
You're writing though,
yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, like that's kind of my
which is
updates.
wild.
Yeah.
Like I really do think it's like you're just like the Markiplier baby test subject, which is gonna be like very fun and like I'm not scared for you. I'm excited. I'm just like, this is so stressful.
I'm scared for me. Yeah.
I'm like, he's gonna do great. I'm just stressed because like just walking out of it was Hokum. And
Yeah.
I was just like, this is crazy. Everyone is like
People are
gravitate like
excited. Yeah.
other filmmakers are, other
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
editors, creators. Like I was just like, this is a lot. This
Hmm.
is a lot.
Yeah.
Um, I'm
Your
much
updates.
I'm much chiller than you. I finished my showrunner assistant gig,
Yep.
which was very exciting. But I knew at the end of that, I've been really fortunate. I've had a few managers reach out and be like, I want to read you. Um, but I think I'm in a really similar, not like boat as you. I'm maybe like 2 years behind you in like my annoyance of the industry
Hmm.
or like my I don't want to wait anymore. And TV's
Hmm.
harder.
Yep.
TV's kind of like a more normal ladder that you work your way up in.
Yeah.
But as you know, like there are so many people that were staff writers that are working as script coordinators and writers assistants. So there's less jobs. But I knew at the end of last year when I was finishing up showrunner assistant, I was like, I really want to have like the sample that like wows people.
Hmm.
So wrote a pilot, which I just sent out for notes finally, wrote
Hmm.
a short story because I'd also met with someone who was like, you should give your hand like to a short story and
Yeah.
like kind of share that.
Bidding war.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then a feature, which I'm writing with my friend Tiger, and I'm having like a lot of fun with that. The other two are just like out for notes, and I'm very excited to kind of just like lock them and like put them away. Um, but I am torn. I like this feature so much that I'm like, do I just focus on like trying to find a producer? And
Mm,
it's a very like there is a lot of like young like 20 to 35-year-old women that I think would like excel in these two sister
mm,
roles, and I'm like,
mm,
oh, like I feel like that's very attractive to two
yeah.
actresses at that stage. And so I'm like kind of trying to decide, like, do I want to go do manager meetings and send that pilot out, or do I want to like put a bunch of focus on finding producers to be excited about this? Also,
Mhm.
really cool. I don't even know if I've talked to you about this. I had like my Discord group,
Yeah.
and I did a mock room last year that was like a workplace comedy, like 30-minute episodes. We only did 4 weeks, and we were like, that was not long enough. Like,
Mhm.
we gotta like up this. And so we're
And the mock room being that you were sort of like emulating the
yes, like the
writer's room
writer's room. Yeah.
experience.
And it
Yeah.
was really great. And like everyone was amazing. We ended up with like beat sheet outlines for our episodes. And like that's where it ended with the 4 weeks. And so Miguel, who's in the Discord group, was like, I had like this horror idea. And I was like, I really want to make sure it's like TikTok series. And he's like, yeah, that's what I want to do too. And
Mhm.
so they are 8 weeks in right now to a TikTok mini, like TikTok series vertical writer's room.
Oh, wow.
And it's a really cool concept. It's all one location. Um, Kind of has like a Blair Witch
Hmm.
vibe to it, like a found footagey thing
Hmm.
that I think would be like that would work. And each episode like works well, stands on its own in
Wow.
like a TikTok setting. And
That's
so
cool.
I'm excited to see if we like end up actually producing that,
Mhm.
because like it's the one location's not expensive.
Yeah.
So it would be
So that'd
very
be a
interesting.
vertical.
Yeah.
That would be so
Yes.
interesting.
Yes.
The vertical, I mean, it continues to pop off, and like the studios are, I mean, there's that thing I just sent
Range.
you. Yeah,
Yes.
which is crazy because it's like if they put enough money into it, then it is we're back to Quibi.
Yes, and I think that's, like, the fine line of being
Yeah.
like, don't overproduce it,
Yeah.
and I think that's why, like, the idea that they have is, like, it's so fun, and it's just, like, you don't need a lot to make
Mhm.
what they want, and a lot of it is meant to be lo-fi,
Yeah.
and I think that, like, adds to the potential for it, and so
Totally.
that's, like, one that I'm, like, no idea.
Would you produce that if they
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
cool.
yeah, and
Yeah.
so I'm just, like, excited. I've been reading all the episodes and stuff. We're kind of like, me and this girl Anja are acting as, like, the exec team to give them notes and to, like, let them fine tune it,
Mhm.
and it's these poor people, like, God bless them, but, like, they're 3-page scripts, like, there's not like,
Yeah.
that's not, but I'm like, "I got a note." I'm like, "Oh my god," and, like, I got on their call the other day, and I was like, "I have been on the other side of this, and, like, I know how annoying exec notes are, so, like, when I get
Mhm.
off, you can talk shit. Like, it's
Mhm.
completely fine." But
I
that's
think that
some
would be really cool if you produced a vertical that
yeah, like,
blew up.
and, like, I just think, like, now that I've seen it and read these and, like, watched the process, I'm like, "Oh, this could be, like, a repeatable thing to, like, allow a bunch of new writers
Yeah.
in to do," which, like, is something I've always, like, enjoyed.
Mhm.
So that's very different than, like, my career, but
Mhm.
I also, like, need to get back into posting. I've taken about 3 weeks off.
Yeah, I gotta get back into my rhythm as well.
I saw so many good things at South by,
Oh,
though.
yeah, let's talk about South by, yeah.
My god. Okay. Name your 3 favorites.
My 3 favorites, okay, so I'll start with my biggest surprise.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, I know what it's gonna be.
so there's a movie called Sing Street. It's
Mm,
directed by John Carney
yes.
that I love, Irish filmmaker. All of his movies have they're not really musicals. It's more of like they're about music. There are songs in them. There's often original songs. And he writes himself. He made this movie called Once a long time ago,
I've seen
with these two
once.
artists. It's great. It's
Yes.
great. So his new movie, Power Ballad, Paul Rudd and Nick Jonas.
Everyone adored it.
I went to it because I was like, "Oh, I love his movies and I love these guys." But I loved it so much, and I believe that they are marketing it with this premise, but I didn't even know, like, what the premise was other than, like, I thought it was about these 2 guys who were gonna team up. Paul Rudd is, like, a wedding band singer, and, like, he does covers, but he obviously wants to, like, write his own stuff, and then Nick Jonas is this, boy band guy, but he wants to write his own stuff, but his reps are like, "No, like, it's not good." And so they meet at this wedding, they sing together, viral video. And you think that, oh, it's going to be about these two guys who help each other, but it actually ends up being about Nick Jonas's character stealing his song, and then it becomes the biggest song in the world. And it's this like hilarious comedy. It almost feels like School of Rock at times because it's got like the schlubby guy, not schlubby, but like this person who wanted to be a rock star, but they
It
find
didn't pan
themselves
out.
in this role. And yeah, I loved it so much, and it was just like pure joy. And it had the original songs, and Paul Rudd is so funny in it. That was my biggest surprise.
I did not see that one with you, but I do wanna see that.
I think you'd really like it. Yeah.
Um, I saw I the day that you didn't get there, I was, like, really running, like, through so
Mhm.
many things. I think Seekers of Infinite Love, it's,
I wanna see
Hannah
it.
Einbinder and,
Yep.
Justin Theroux. Anytime that a really hot man plays, like, a clueless kind of, like, "I'm attractive," like, role, I don't know, and they do it well, it, like, really gets me, but it was, like, really heartwarming. I had no idea the premise of this either, that, like,
Mhm.
these 3 siblings need to go, like, save their sister from a cult.
Mm.
No, I literally was like, "I don't know what I'm about to watch," like, I just like Hannah a lot, and, like, that's what I
Yeah.
wanna see. It was so funny, each sibling was, like, so defined in who they were, and, like, just to have an audience, like, to laugh with an audience is, like, always very refreshing because, like, I feel like comedies are hard to come by. It had a little bit of, like, a Little Miss Sunshine
Oh,
vibe
love
to
that.
it. And there were, like, surprise characters that, like, came out that I just,
Hmm.
like, was not expecting that I hope they keep a surprise throughout this whole, like, campaign of when they run this
Interesting.
movie. But I will say, guys, Margot's Got Money Trouble.
Mm. I need to see that as well.
Oh,
It was a pilot, right?
I watched 3.
Oh, wow.
I watched 3, which means I also watched the opening. Like, the opening music is, like, amazing, so it was fine, but Elle Fanning and Michelle Pfeiffer are
Is it
mind-blowing.
Apple? Is it gonna be on Apple?
Apple, yes,
Apple,
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, and, like, just, like, there were, like, 60-year-old men in this audience who were loving it, and I'm like, "This is so interesting." This is about, like, like, a girl who's in college in her sophomore year who gets pregnant and
Right,
has the baby,
right.
and, like, that is the gist of this movie, but it was, like, there were, like, young teen girls crying with, like, the mom relationship, and then these
Mhm.
old men laughing, and I was like, "This is, like, the most fun I've had in an audience in some time."
Yeah.
Um, so, like, adored, and then obviously, you and me saw really good horror.
Yeah, we had this double header on, was it Friday? Saturday night?
Saturday.
Saturday night, same theater,
Yes.
many of the same people in the crowd, Obsession and Hokum back to back,
Which
which
I had
was
not seen Obsession, this was your second
second
time.
time, yeah.
That was I think I walked out and I said it to you and I was like, "It was so good, I'm so jealous."
Yeah.
Like, I'm so jealous that someone else came up with this amazing concept, made this amazing movie, like, the actors were all perfectly cast. It
Mhm.
was just also, like, it was really scary, but like, sometimes the scare, like, was so scary that I was like, "I can't believe this," like, laughing, I was like, "I
Yeah.
cannot believe that this is what's happening right now."
Yeah, it's so interesting because it's just such a specific tone, like, it's a horror
Yes.
movie, and it gets really violent and crazy and scary, but it's also, like, has his signature Curry Barker's, like, sense of humor, which makes sense because he's like a Kreger, like a Jordan Peele, he's
Yes.
coming from, like, sketch comedy, basically, and he's also made some really great genre shorts and, his Milk and Cereal found
You
footage feature,
love.
but, it's really funny, like, and
Yes.
people were laughing uncomfortably, people are laughing because it's just funny, and it's so crazy, and I felt, yeah, just as inspired after the second time as when I saw it the first
Yeah,
time.
and God, like, I really, like, has his singular like, I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be, like the next movie that he makes, I'm gonna be like, oh, that's like a Curry Brother." Like,
Yeah,
you're gonna know that it's his, which I
the
think is, like
voice.
yes, and,
Yep.
like, God, even, like, the like, when she's in the darkness of a lot of the scenes,
Yeah,
I was just like, "This is so fucking scary." Like, how did
yeah.
he think it's so subtle, but it's, like, so important to that character, like,
Yeah,
man.
what I really loved, and, this is kind of like a comp for Playhouse, but I don't know if there was a new color correct at this version, but, I don't know if it was just the projection, but there's so many scenes that are purposefully dark, like what you're
Mhm.
talking about where it's literally dark on her face,
Yeah.
but there's also just scenes where it's like they didn't use a ton of light, and, like, classically in movies, especially bigger movies, or even just, like, some people's style is, like, more light, I need to see the face, and it's just, there's so much that's very, very dark, purposefully. but it works so well. And that's hard to do because this is what we're going to run into on Playhouse is like we have a lot of stuff like that, but it also requires you don't have a Game of Thrones situation where it's like, oh, when you watch it at home, it's literally just pitch black.
Well, you know what? I loved Ozark, but I was like, I could not watch Ozark during the day because if you had like any light on your screen, you could not see. Because Ozark was like a very dark, color faded
Another one, yeah.
show. Yes,
Yeah.
which I adored. But again, I was like, I only have certain hours of the day to watch this one.
Yeah. So yeah, we saw Obsession and then we saw Hokum right after. Crazy double feature.
I have not seen Oddity, which like
Yeah.
everyone was like, oh, you got to see Oddity. And I was like, well, I can't go back in time. Like I'm going right into this movie.
Yeah.
I love when someone puts like a mystery into my horror because with weapons, it like settles me into the mystery and the scariness a little bit. Like Obsession, I was like doing, actually during Hokum, I think I was doing this thing too. Like I had hands in here and like everyone's like, his jump scares are crazy, which like they were.
Yeah.
But I just always really appreciate like that engine of a story into this. And the first like big, also Paul Rudd and Adam Scott, to me, I know they're different people. They, to me, like could be brothers and or like switch places like all of the time. But Adam Scott, like the first big thing that happens with his character shook me to my core. And I was like, I'm like, oh yeah, you can do that in a movie. Like you can just fucking do that. It was so good.
Are you talking about kind of the twist of his like
yes.
backstory?
Yeah.
It's
like,
pretty crazy. Yeah.
I was not anticipating that to be like the next step of that story at all.
Yeah. Yeah. You should totally watch Oddity. I think Caveat is like scarier than Oddity. Caveat is like you might really, really like that one because it's very like a puzzle.
Oh yeah.
It kind of requires you to solve it. But he is amazing because I mean, he just has a great style. He has such a specific aesthetic in his imagery. Like even all the rabbit stuff in Hokum, kind of the motif of the rabbit. Like he has this, there's a rabbit that's in Caveat, but like he does a lot of jump scares, but they're like really, really effective and clever. And it's never like fake out. It's like, oh, that's actually really, really scary.
Yes. And like his whole production design, like I'm very enamored about like the room that everything takes place in. And like, there's not a lot of talking in that script. So it's just like a lot of actor character. I was just, I was really.
It had a bit of levity and humor too, which was like surprised me, but it was great.
I'm really bummed you didn't. I know you'll see. I love boosters. Costume, like I walked out of it and I was like, that was a movie made for me. Like anti-capitalism, workers get together. Like his messaging is so clear. The costume, the music, everything was just so like loud and bombastic and beautiful. And I think that's like the fun of going to a festival where like that's a movie.
Yeah.
And then like Hokum and Obsession are films. And then like Chili Finger I saw too. And like there's just like such a range of like storytelling. It's like very fun to see it all happen.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was so great. And then my last one that I'll shout out, which was another big surprise, saw this movie that I loved called Crashland, which is, you know, our Hell of a Summer guys when we went to that Neon event. So it's actually directed by, so Hell of a Summer was directed by Billy Brick and Finn. They co-directed, I believe. This one is directed by Billy's brother, Dempsey. And Billy is in it briefly. I mean, Finn Wolfhard's in it.
Yeah.
Gabriel LaBelle, fantastic in it. But it's I would pitch it as like Napoleon Dynamite meets Jackass. It's about these young kids who are like very into filming stunts and crazy stuff. But it's this kind of coming of age story about something that happens, and it has this very specific style. It's very funny. I knew I would like it. Also, like, so Matt Johnson EP'd it. There's a lot of Canadian energy on it, but I knew I would like it, but I ended up really, really loving it. Yeah.
Was it a late night one too?
That was late. I think it was like 10 p.m. on the first night I was there or something like that.
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was like in bed. Festivals were exhausting.
No, they are. It's like, and I was only there. Originally, I was going to come in earlier, but I was trying to finish work stuff. And then I went back yesterday morning to do more work stuff. But yeah, it's like draining. I don't know how people do the whole, I mean, Fantastic Fest, we stayed the whole time. I think it was like 10 days or something. That's a long
Yeah.
time.
I
Yeah.
I am excited if I can come to Fantastic because you said it's at a smaller, like it's a
hmm
smaller like base radius. Like that was like the
South by is so spread out.
I limed everywhere. I
Oh, yeah.
electric biked all over the place. It was great.
I should have done that. But I mean, there were times where I just couldn't get an Uber. Like
No.
it would just load and load and load. And then
Mm-mm.
when it finally did, it was like so
Oh, we
expensive.
ended
And I was
up,
like, where's the Waymos?
I don't know where we ended up. We were pretty far out at this place called White Horse, if anyone knows what that is.
Mm,
It's like there were people doing like square line dancing.
yeah.
And there was like a live band and everything. And like we went in, we realized it was 1 because it was after Hokum. And I was like,
hmm
oh my God, it's already 1. And then we go out and I'm like, I want a burger. We're staying by Rainy Street. And I'm like, we'll get a lift. It takes 9 minutes to even like find you the lift. And I was like, there's limes over there. Like we're getting going, and got home in 1/4 the time that it would have
Wow.
taken.
Wish I
So
could have seen you like zooming around on your
I
Lime.
love it. Not a scooter, bike only. I got a
I was
concussion.
imagining the scooter.
No, I got a
'Cause
concussion.
I've ridden those and it was scary.
No, they're so scary. Eric
Yeah.
was scared on the ride home. He was not enjoying it because he was on a scooter. I was on a bike.
And are the bikes electric?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. I
Okay.
got a concussion on a scooter in LA one time. I was a little tipsy driving it,
Mhm.
and I like literally flipped over the front of it. 4
My
cars
God.
stopped and like came out and were like, "Are you okay?" And I like jumped up really
Jesus.
quickly, and they were like, "That was an amazing landing." And I was like, "I was a gymnast." So I have never taken one since. I went to the doctor and they were like, "Were you riding without a helmet?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so I've never gotten on one again.
Interesting. Okay. I probably saw, for some reason, I'm having trouble envisioning the bikes. I probably saw them, but
Oh yeah, they
I've
were.
seen the scooters everywhere.
I have some pictures of the bikes, so I'll show
Okay.
you them.
Yeah.
Okay, this was our recap episode. So now
Yeah.
we are going to be releasing. We're only doing 2 or 3 episodes a month now, right?
Mhm.
That's kind
Yeah.
of like
We're
what
gonna try
we're.
to focus on recording in person,
Yes,
uh, quality, and we have a bunch of guests that we wanna talk to.
yes,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so it's going to be like this is just like the intro, get back into it episode. But yeah, it's going to be in person, which is a little bit harder to schedule with everybody.
Mhm.
But
It'll be
we're
worth it.
it'll be worth it. Yeah, we're very excited for the upcoming list of guests that you guys can see, and hopefully they're all very inspiring and helpful and
Yeah.
dope. They will be, like hopefully. Okay. We don't need to do a high low, hell no.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well,
Cool.
Godspeed.
Awesome.
Yay.